Welcome to another edition of the Side Dive Podcast. BJ, Tim, ABJ, your
What's up?
hosts. Yay, us. We did it. Or I should say they did it. But yes, them Cyclones pulled off a win. Hot damn. 34 to 27 was the final. Um, Conference opener. Who'd
Yeah,
have thunk it? But the boys pulled off a win. Um, Possibly have an exciting new offense to talk about. Defense played great. Um, it was supposed to be bad weather, but I think the weather held up, didn't it?
the weather was great. Uh, it may have sprinkled just a little bit, but yeah, no, it was. And the wind did kick up a few times where it's like, oh man, here it comes. But then it died back down. So yeah, it was a great day for tailgating and watch football.
Cool, cool. Um, well, let's get right into it. How about Rocco? Huh? I mean, who'd have thought? All you gotta do is just let that man start slinging that rock around, and boom, there you go. I'm over here worrying about whether or not he's gonna actually read and take off running. But all we had to do is just put a bunch of wide receivers out 4x1 and just start slinging it.
Hey, I think those two touchdown passes. I think they were on play action too. So we did talk about that a little bit, but not it was out of the gun. But yeah,
Which just seems wild to me that you would bite on the run with Iowa State. I
yeah.
mean, good grief. But you know what?
Well,
That's that's for Oklahoma State's podcasters to talk about.
that's what
Um,
Campbell was talking about. That in the first half, they were putting their extra safety in the box, and just leaving the one high safety, and obviously we started throwing over that. So then they had to drop back to the two deep safeties, um, which, and then we were able to run a little better. So I thought we ran decent in the second half. I mean, I think it was enough to affect the game. Obviously, we had a rushing touchdown too, for first rushing touchdown of the season in the second half. So
well, I mean, we had 74 yards rushing um, on 34 attempts for a whopping 2.2 average.
uh,
Um, Maybe we need to give the offensive lineman Brian France stipulation. If you guys can't get to at least 3 yards of average, somebody got to go.
dude, they played a freshman. They played a true freshman at guard.
Yeah, I think that's.
In Simmons' spot, Brendan Black.
But you know what? I'll get to that. I'll get to that later.
Okay,
I'll
okay,
get to that
okay.
later. So, 422 total yards, 348 passing. Beck was 37 or 27 of 38. Um, zero picks.
Yep.
So he was efficient with the ball, which is what we would want from him. Um, he did not look like he's a redshirt freshman. No, he's not a redshirt freshman.
Yeah,
He's a
he's redshirt freshman because he played
he's
last year.
redshirt.
Remember? Because he probably
That's
gets.
right. So
Yeah,
um, he looked older than a redshirt freshman
he
Saturday.
did. He did. Yeah, accurate. Didn't have the. I mean, I would say the only big mistake he has been in the Iowa game. In the Ohio game when that dude fell down, that stuff happens. But No, he was efficient. I think that's like one of the cleanest games we played in a long time. I mean, there was, no turnovers, no missed kicks. It was just clean. No boneheaded penalties or anything that I remember. But it was I thought it was a clean game all around.
Yes, I agree. And if there's more of that right decision making going forward, who knows what could happen. But nothing's going to happen if we don't get that run game together. We'll get to that in a minute. On the receiving end of those 27 for 348, the receivers seem to step up, even with the exit of VJ's homeboy X. Dude stepped up. Jalen Noel, 8 catches, 146 and a touchdown. I mean, woof.
I thought it was one of his best games. I mean, he he like stepped forward this game. I mean, even on punt returns, he's like super aggressive. That's one thing. We were sitting in the end zone. We were like 5th row, so you're like, you're way down. You don't have a great vantage point, but like on the punt returns, he was just like really aggressive. I know he didn't have any big punt returns, but even just catching the ball. I know there was one he had to run up on that. In the past, it seems like our punt returners have watched those bounce in front of them, and then they end up 30 yards behind them. But
or a blocker runs into him.
Yeah, he seemed real fast and he just seemed on
it. Daniel Jackson had a huge day. 6 catches, 90 yards, 2 touchdowns. Bramer had 4 catches. Easton Dean, Eli Sanders, and Klotz all had a couple. Sama, Jaden Higgins had a quiet day, 1 catch.
Yeah, that one that Sama had, dude, he was a shoestring tackle away from that being a touchdown.
And that's what they got to do with him.
Yeah,
Get him on the edge. Get him in space and force the other team to do something about it.
Yep.
BJ, you got anything to add here on the receivers? Or Rocco?
You there, BJ?
Can you hear us?
Barely.
You can barely hear us?
Yeah, no, I can hear you now. I didn't
know
okay. That's a question or something.
Oh, yeah. You were looking, I was like, can he even hear us? And I said, you would have had anything on the receivers. You like staring at us. I'm like, I don't know what he can hear.
He was looking like Eminem on with Kirk Herbstreit that night at that Michigan game. You remember that?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot.
So yeah, just jump on in whenever you want.
Vernon still doesn't have an opinion on the receivers.
I mean, I'm not as excited, just because I do still wonder what's going to happen when we have a legit defense come up against us. I mean, this defense did not.
Well,
they did not play well. They did not play well.
Yeah,
that defensive coordinator did not do a good job of calling the game on their side.
Okie States.
Yeah. I mean, we have receivers got tons of yardage, back through lots of yardage, high completion rate. I mean, that's great. But again, a few of those plays were, a few of those explosive plays were based off some defenders slipping or them just being in the wrong alignment. Which
Jackson's touchdown, Noel's touchdown. I mean,
yeah. They're trying to cover you.
But here's what I'm getting at. My thing about our quarterback this year was I like him. I think he's the right guy. I just worry about when we get those good defenses and you have to make multiple reads, what happens then? Because again,
Well,
this game came off well. I mean, I think we saw that early in the season. This game didn't see
Okay.
that because
Okay.
well, you know what? In about a half hour, we can talk about that because we're gonna have to talk
okay,
about that.
gotcha.
Well, so this is my question for Vernon for this week. So after the game, kind of how we were talking about before, pretty much my questions for you have been about the process and all that stuff, and developing young guys. Well, after the game, Campbell, he more or less apologized and said he apologized because he felt like the previous games he was coaching not to lose, and basically not being aggressive. So
Okay.
so to me, I mean, do you think? So the question, I guess, is, I think that even makes, if you're coaching like that, that even makes a young team even more tight. You know,
Yeah.
the coach is worried about you making a mistake, so then you even worry about it more, as opposed to the coach wanting you to be aggressive and play to your strengths. I mean, do you think there's something to that?
Yeah, I do. There's a lack of trust there, and as a student athlete, you're going to feel that. And yeah, I would say you probably would play tight. And if the calls aren't aggressive, you're going to pick up on that too. And even if you buy into the offense, hey, this is where I'm supposed to go. Maybe I'm locked into that, and I'm going to go to that, whether it's right or wrong.
So this goes back to what you were saying also, as like the way he looked against Iowa, and you guys even brought up. I think we even talked. You guys even talked about how, the game plan against Iowa is not aggressive, and how, or we talked about how the previous Iowa State coaches that have won that game have gone out of their way as far as game plan to win that game, and I thought that the Iowa game was like a process game where, we're just going to do what we do and hope good things happen, as opposed to make good things happen. So I think that would have an effect on him in that game, So I mean, I look forward to how he's going to play going forward, because I think whether that defense was horrible or not, they still went out there and made the plays. I mean, and they made them easily, as opposed.
I get it. I mean, but if a dude is falling down and you're wide open by,
Dude, how many?
I'm exaggerating. You're
Right,
open
right,
by 10,
right.
15 yards.
Right. Okay.
You're
But
D1 quarterback. You're going to make that play.
how many
Yeah.
Iowa State? No. How many Iowa State teams have we seen dudes running wide open down the middle, and it's 10 yards over his head, not making the give me,
Well, and I guess to add to VJ's point, this is a team that just got blistered for 33 by
Right. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not
South
saying
Alabama, so we're not really talking about a good team right now.
no.
I mean, I hope that I'm wrong. I'm just pointing out just an observation was what I'm making. That's all I'm doing. I'm pointing
No,
out
I know. I'm just questioning it. I'm not saying you're wrong or right, or
right.
I was just
Well,
With you.
to the point about letting it all hang out, the flea flicker. That might have been the worst flea flicker run in the history of flea flickers. And I ran a flea flicker back in flag football. That was awful. I mean, there was no flea. The flick was bare. I mean, it was terrible.
yeah.
I mean, feel free, Fieldhouse, to never. Actually, I need every player to bring in their playbook so that can get marked off. Put just white out right over the top of that bad boy. I don't ever want to see that mess again. First of all, the line doesn't even block well enough to even be trying something
That's
like
what I
that.
was just gonna say. I was like, the receivers weren't even 4 yards down the field. They had 3 guys in our backfield, and the running back obviously had to pitch it back sooner than he wanted to. You know, normally you hold on to it for a little bit and then turn around and flip it back. But no, he basically got it and was like gonna get smoked and turn it. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not blocking well for any of those kind of damn shenanigans.
Yeah.
Just no way. Is
But
that no?
It's out there on tape though, so you know somebody has to game plan for it now.
So what do you think of them playing Hanson a lot? He got way more touches than I thought he was going to be. Yeah.
Well, I think that had to do with Norton getting hurt. I forgot Eli Sanders was hurt earlier in the season, but I was surprised they didn't go to him earlier. You know, because him and Jalen Noel look like they're different speeds than everybody else. So to me, you got to have that guy on the field. You know, because he had one run where it was a safety shoestring tackle too. I mean, from breaking it. So yeah, I just liked his aggressiveness and his pop.
I mean, I haven't even heard an update on Sanders. I mean, on Norton.
They supposedly he's practicing, but it didn't look good. I mean, you said you watched the replay. I watched.
What is that?
Yeah, it didn't look good. I mean,
no.
To me, it looked like collarbone or shoulder separation.
But you know what? You're right. I did see that that everybody was back. There was I got shit written down every fucking. But there was 2 dudes. He didn't know about Renan if he was going to be back.
I'm pretty sure he's doubtful.
But I think all the running backs are going to be available.
Yeah.
For the next game. So I mean, we got aside from Norton getting dinged, which it looks like he's back in practicing, we got out of the game unscathed. But I got a long list of shit, but I'm not going to go through every single point I saw about the game. But you know, it's hard to be critical when you win.
Yeah.
But there were some nitpicky things. But you know, Rocco had a good game. Our receivers stepped up. Run game is still shaky as hell. Defense though, you know, two turnovers, should have been 3.
Yeah.
Freeland dropped that 1 pick. It's just like, bro.
Yeah.
You might not get an easier one. But
that was early too. That was early in the game.
Yeah, because I got it. It's like my 3rd thing listed.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they were getting penetration, and that was good to see. I thought Orange had a good game in the middle.
Another guy
making things move left to right.
Yeah,
instead of coming up the middle.
Singleton had a sack. J.R. Singleton, nose guard got a sack. That was fun because that was kind of right in front of us. One guy who's standing out for me is as far as defensive line goes is he's a redshirt freshman, number 88, Ezeagu.
Oh yeah,
yeah, that dude. I think he's going to be good. He just looks the part and. He was in the backfield a lot. I think he had a knockdown. I'm not sure how many tackles he had, but he just looked like he was always disrupting stuff.
I mean 6'5", 260. Getting the ball up over the top of him is no easy task.
Yeah.
And he can move.
Yeah, well, and he looked like he could jump. He looked real athletic.
Yeah. So, you know. Nickel had a good game.
Yeah, he took a bad angle on that long run. That was
But
kind of his fault. But he caught that guy
yeah,
straight behind him. I was like,
I
holy
was just like,
cow!
okay, that dude's slow. So you're the big bruising back. You are not the breakaway back that
Well,
what was the dude that was there last a couple of years ago? Chuck
Hubbard,
uh,
Chuba Hubbard.
yeah, Chuba
Yeah,
Hubbard.
yeah,
Like, yeah, nobody is going to confuse you for him or for Thurman Thomas or for Barry Sanders or anybody else. 'Cause that dude looked like me running down the sidelines.
Well,
But that was a great tackle. Granted, they scored on that drive,
yeah,
but for him to get back in that play after taking the bad angle
yeah,
was good to see. But he was all over the field.
yeah.
I thought our strong safety had a good game too. Bo.
Yep.
Oh yeah. I mean, he led the team in tackles.
And he had an interception and should have, like William said, should have had two.
Yeah. I mean, it was.
James.
I mean, the defense gave up 27 points. But it was a good goddamn. It was a good effort by them. I mean, Oklahoma State made some plays. They had that big run that we just talked about, and then they had. I felt just horrible. Was that Bacon who got left on the island back? I was just.
Yeah,
as soon as I saw the play go off, I'm like, "Where's the safety help for him?"
The
Linebacker on a running back.
Yeah, to me that was honestly before this game, I was like, okay, is Gundy going to outcoach Campbell? And is that going to be the reason why we lose this game? And obviously that was a great play. They had the mismatch, but for the most part, I don't think that was the case. I thought Oklahoma State looked the part, though. I was surprised. Big, tall receivers. Then they had, they still had Presley. Yeah, and their running backs seemed good too. But anyway.
So I mean, surprise, surprise, Haycock had the defense ready. I mean, it's that's no real shocker there. Defense played well. Iowa State's defense plays well. If you just look at the box score, it might not look that way because they had 409 yards. But I mean, you take away 60 on that touchdown pass, and now you're down to 22 completions for 218 yards.
Okay, so Vernon was talking about his concerns. Are you concerned with the defense? Because we've seen them give up big play to Iowa. Then they had two big plays against Oklahoma State. Are you worried that is a trend?
Well, I'll say no because like on the run, I mean that was well blocked. Dude takes a bad angle, which Iowa State normally does not take bad angles.
Right.
I mean they get the tackles. Dudes usually just got to. I mean dudes break all the time.
Yep.
Everybody's except for ours. So it's just something. It's sometimes just something to live with. It would more concern me if it was happening all the time. Granted, they had 4 rushes over 20 yards. Oh, no, I take that back. 1 rush over. They had the big one.
Yeah.
71. They had 71-yard rush and 121 yards rushing. 131 yards.
Yep.
So 60 yards on another 23 carries. Iowa State's rush defense did pretty well. If we're getting gashed constantly, I'd be more concerned. that was just a perfect play call for them on that long touchdown.
Right.
I mean, that was. I'll put that on the safeties. The safeties should have recognized what the hell was going on and gave old boy some help. I mean, he hung in there as well as he could.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, that case, that's one of those things. During the meeting, I hope they say, "Hey, next time it's like this, just grab that dude and take the 15 yards."
For real.
Grab him, trip him, do whatever you got, do whatever you can. But so no, I'm not overly concerned. But that's the defense.
Yep.
The defense has been don't break.
Yeah.
And you hope they don't get gassed too much. I think it will be played differently. I think they gamble a little bit more because of how poor Oklahoma State's been playing.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see them playing like nobody's going to be left on an island. No linebacker's going to be left on an island when they play OU next week.
Right.
Nobody's going to be left on an island when they're playing Kansas or Kansas State. That stuff's not going to happen.
Yep.
So I think Haycock may have taken a few more chances, a few more liberties based on his opponent. So I'm only concerned for the defense if the offense goes completely in the tank because you just get worn down.
Yeah, and Heacock did say in the press conference this week he wasn't worried. All the issues he saw, he considered fixable. As far as they're not personnel issues. So, and yeah, I would rather have him, going into this game be like a little more motivation for those guys after giving up 27.
Yeah. So, BJ, what'd you like that you saw this past weekend?
I like the play calling. I mean, it was more aggressive than it had been in the past. Pipes made comments to that they referenced that in the talks they had with the coach. So, I mean, that was good to see. It's boring to say this, but I thought the defense, I think we've already discussed it. The defense played well too. I mean, those two things stood out to me.
Chase Contreras came back. We didn't ruin. He's not ruined.
Oh yeah, that's true too. Yeah.
he was big special teams player of the week for the Big 12.
I was going to say, and special teams is holding its own this year.
Yeah.
Yes.
Why?
You should have that on a T-shirt, William.
Yeah.
Special teams coach.
I told y'all to hire a special teams coach. So, Pipes, anything besides the offensive play calling that?
Just kind of how clean, like I said before, how clean of a game it was. There was no, there wasn't one of those Iowa State, you always see some crazy shit at some Iowa State games, and there just wasn't that. There was nothing. There was no penalties for people to bitch about. There wasn't no rain delay. There was nothing. It was just a good day. It was like, yeah.
This was true. It was pretty good all around. Aside from the run game, is there anything that was bad that you're just like, man?
I think you referenced it already too. I'm not saying bad, but there should be a bit of concern. The offensive line. That's all.
Oh yeah.
Which has been mentioned several times on this podcast.
And I'll never want to see that damn flea flicker again. That shit.
What'd you say about the flea and the flick or something? What was that?
It wasn't much flea. The flea was terrible. It was a terrible flick. That shit was it 10 pounds of ass? I don't know. It was awful. But yay for the good guys. Not that there's anything wrong with Okie State if you like them, but we're the good guys. And we won that damn game. Hey, said last week, this was a pivotal game, a huge game for both of these teams. It's going to give one team hope, and one team's going to be gripping. And they're gripping in Stillwater, I'm sure, right now, because they thought they're fine with their one quarterback. Well, they're not. So, last week, predictions. Well, I guess preseason predictions. Okie State, Pipes, you had a win, and BJ and I both had a loss. So, Pipes, you went with a win, and you got that win, 15-11.
Yeah, I was way off.
Well, I think we all anticipated the weather was going to get involved.
True.
Kind of the weather with bad defense, with great defenses. Yeah, I figured. Yeah,
I would have never predicted that we scored over 30 points, though.
No, me neither.
True.
I mean, the funny thing is, if you combine all three of our scores, we had them at 52.
Yeah. Yeah.
So VJ, you picked the loss at 20-16, and I picked the win at 17-14. So none of us can count well, but two of us got the win. Pipes, you picked Contreras for your MVP. I picked Bramer. Shit. I almost think you gotta give the MVP to the person that VJ had, because he picked the OC.
There you go.
And
Nate. Yeah.
I mean, I think he called the game.
Yep.
You know, he cut loose. And
Nate
flea flicker and all.
Yeah.
flea flicker and all, yep.
The flea with no flick. Something like that. Little flick. Oh man. So Nate Shieldhouse gets the quarter highlight for the week.
There you go. So we got two so far getting themselves a highlight.
Yeah.
Well, Sooner State. We moved from one member of that Sooner State to the other. My former favorite team, who's if you're looking to follow the Sooners, just follow the trail of money that leads to the southeast. That's where you'll find them as they scurry off next year to the SEC. Bye. Good luck. I hope it works out for you. Hopefully, Texas doesn't go into a sudden stop and your heads don't shove right up their ass. But that's a whole nother thing. But we got the Sooners this week. We got OU, and this ain't the same OU as a couple of the past few years. These Oklahoma Sooners have managed to figure out a way to play defense, and you would think that they should, seeing that their head coach is one of the top defensive-minded coaches in the country. I mean, he's been a long-standing defensive coordinator, so they are playing defense.
Is it because of their schedule?
Now, granted, said defense has played Arkansas State, SMU, Tulsa, and Cincinnati. So the rest of their schedule is a little bit more daunting than it has been. And we catch them at a pretty good time because they're riding high and they might be peeking over our shoulders to look at the Red River Showdown the following week. One can only hope.
Yep.
So yeah, no, we got you talked about that clean game, Pipes.
Oh,
Gotta have that clean game.
yeah.
And
And
if we're not having that clean game, the floodgates will gonna open.
Yep.
And yeah, we're gonna get washed real damn quick. They got, I don't know, 15-year senior Dylan Gabriel. I don't know who's been in college football longer, him or Bo Nix, but they both need to holler at Perry Ellis?
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they can all get together and talk about how long they've been in the NCAA. They almost have the same people because Dylan Gabriel seems like he's been in college football forever. But yeah, I mean, he got 1,200 yards, 12 TDs, and a pick. So far this season. They're OU playing defense. So that's a problem for us. Go ahead.
I'll be right back.
All right. I watched the volleyball game last night. Was it last night?
Monday.
Against the Webster City?
Yeah.
That was Monday?
Yeah.
I was told I had food poisoning, so I'm a little out of it. Yeah, I went to some shitty dive bar to watch football on Sunday and paid for it dearly. So I've been out of work for the last 2 days.
Oh shit, dude!
I haven't eaten anything today. I'm just like, ugh. So I'm a little worn out.
I bet.
All right.
What did you have?
I had cheese curds and a bacon cheeseburger, but like I told Pipes, that they didn't put the bacon on my cheeseburger right away. They forgot it. And when I asked for it, she came back just way too fast.
Oh.
And I'm like, so how long has that bacon just been sitting around?
Mm-hmm.
You know? Yeah. But anyway. So, yeah. So, OU.
Yeah, so did you watch them play?
Did
Did you watch them against Cincinnati at all?
I watched some. I didn't, I caught bits and pieces because.
Okay, so did anything stand out to you about them?
I mean, how well the defense is playing. I mean, Cincinnati, they ain't got a Ritter.
Okay.
Yeah, the quarterback's not terrible.
Right.
But they're just not on.
But that wasn't
OU's
anything.
level. And the thing about OU in the past is teams have still been able to score points.
Well, no, even that though, like usually an Oklahoma team, like the Oklahoma teams, from our past or what we're used to. When I ask you what stands out, you have like player names, like this dude, blah blah blah. CeeDee Lamb, whoever.
I'm in my feelings a little bit more about Oklahoma. So
well, no, okay, well, no, but I'm just saying, even like for me, when I watch them, I don't see any of those. I don't see any of those dudes. I saw a team, right. Their defensive backfield looked really good to me. They looked like they had great team speed all over the field, but I didn't notice the size. Their size didn't stand out to me like their great teams do. So that's what caught my eye, and so because usually like you said, you talked about Dylan Gabriel. usually when you bring up Oklahoma, you have a running back to talk about, you have a receiver to talk about, and you usually have some All-American, usually defensive lineman, or back in the day, or linebacker or safety. You know, that's just head and shoulders, you know, above the rest. I know their one linebacker, Stutzman, kind of stands out to me as far as seems like he's always in the mix, but it just doesn't seem like one of those, you know, crazy talented
and you know what? And maybe that's why they're playing so well.
Yeah,
because
I don't know.
Like Gabriel, I mean, the 15 different dudes have caught a pass this season. You know, and part of that is due to, you know, the Arkansas State game was a complete annihilation, being 75-0, 66-17 versus Tulsa. So those two games is probably where a lot of those dudes, you know, made their hay.
But even
now, go ahead.
Oh, it just usually, like, you know, these dudes before the season. You know, you're hearing about this guy from OU. You know, like Texas.
Well,
I think you know some of their players. You know,
but I think the problem with OU right now is kind of a national perception of we ain't got to worry about them.
Yeah.
You know, OU's gonna have some damn problem because of this, or they're gonna have a problem because of that. You know, when Lincoln Riley left, everybody kind of said, "Who gives a fuck about OU?"
Well, that's
and people kind of chuckle at Venables, like, you know, last year with you know, you're supposed to be this great DC and you're giving up all these points. Well, guess what? You add in 40 transfers, there's going to be some problems.
Right.
Well, they gave up points early to teams last year. We're not doing that this year.
No.
I mean, that's not happening. And I mean, four games, and they've given up 34 points.
Yeah.
Shit, we just gave up 27.
And like they were talking about, I forget which podcast I was listening to, but they were talking about how Venables' defense always has lockdown corners. You know, so he knows he can gamble with pressure and everything else. And that's one thing I did notice. That seemed to stand out to me watching them against Cincinnati was how good their defensive backfield was.
Yeah. So it's OU. Iowa State wins if.
I say we win if we can prevent the avalanche. You know, how many times have we seen Iowa State teams roll in there? Something bad happens. OU gets on a roll, and then crowds into it, and they hit like 3 big plays in a row, and they're up 21 points fast. And we play another clean game. You know, it's going to be a lot different against their defense. So I think we just have to get it to the fourth quarter where it's a manageable score and see what happens.
I like the clean game approach. I like that too. I'd like to see, instead of us having quick strikes, they're long, sustained drives. That's what I'd like to see. If that happens, we got a shot at winning.
So that leads to, so do our coaches stay aggressive, or are they just worried about holding the ball?
I mean, I still say you got to be aggressive, but you can still have long, sustained drives by doing that.
Without running?
Well, I mean, you can still be aggressive. You can still running does not mean you're not aggressive.
Right. No.
Look at the Philadelphia Eagles.
No, I agree.
In their first game. I mean,
yep.
Yeah. If you are getting chunks of yardage or getting 8 yards, and now this will happen, but if you're averaging 8 yards a carry on the ground, I'll take that over, for the extension of a game over every now and then a 20-yard, pass over the middle or something like that.
No, but you were saying sustaining drives is the big thing. Can we do that without being able to run the ball?
Can we do that without?
Right.
Yeah. No, I don't think so.
I mean,
again, I'm answering that question. We win if we
Yeah.
have those long sustained drives.
Yep, I agree.
We win if we can control the line of scrimmage. I mean, granted, that's every game, but it's definitely this game. If the offensive line does not hold up, it's going to be a long damn game.
Okay, I agree with you. But when you say control, is it control or is it just,
we can't have dudes running free when we're running the ball,
right,
like we had against Ohio.
Right, we have to maintain. We just can't.
Yeah, I'm not saying dudes gotta get. We gotta be blowing OU's line off, off the ball 5 yards, but we just can't have dudes running free like I saw in the Ohio game.
Yeah,
when I watched that back, it looked worse when I watched it back.
Yeah,
when I saw damn near every play, some dude was getting loose. And we can't have that. And it's not even it wasn't even linebackers coming through. It was defensive linemen. If defensive linemen from OU are going to be having free passes, then we're going to get somebody hurt.
True.
Yeah. So that's what I mean, control. We ain't got to dominate, but we just can't let them have free runs.
Yep.
So, and it's the last meeting for OU, so it would be so nice, so sweet to get a win down there on their way out, like I mentioned at the beginning, scurrying on out of the Big 12,
and hoping Texas doesn't stop in front of them, right?
holding the pocket. Holding the back pocket of Texas like they're Texas's jailhouse girlfriend.
Damn.
Shoot.
So, yeah, I said that.
Oh man.
If you ever watch the show Prison Break, Texas is Teabag and OU is the dude holding the pocket. All right. Great show, by the way.
What show is that again?
Prison Break.
Okay.
Very good show. So, prediction time. Preseason, we all had them losing.
Yep.
BJ, you are up first.
Here we go.
Yep, it's going to be a loss, and I'm saying 38-17.
So he's got OU covering. It's 20 points. It's 20-point spread right
20
now.
points spread.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
It might have dropped to 19.5, but yeah.
Okay, and I have us losing. What's the weather going to be like down there? Anybody know?
Hot, 95 during the day.
Okay.
6
I'm
o'clock.
going to make it 45 to 24.
You got to cover it too. Damn. You think they're going to put up 45 on our team?
Yep.
Wow.
Because I think they're going to have opportunities. Unfortunately.
Okay.
That's the thing is I think OU is going to have a lot of opportunity with the ball. because Iowa State has not proved to me that they can run.
True.
If they can't run and control the ball, you're going to give that team like Novocaine.
So they're gonna, yeah. So you're saying with the Heat, they'll be worn out. On top of that,
that defense is just going to
be out there too long,
beat down. Okay. It's not like our defense is deep.
They damn near average 80 plays a game.
So
80 offensive snaps a game.
Yeah.
All right.
Pipes.
I feel a little bit better than you guys do. I still think it's a loss. I'm going 29-18. And I think in the fourth quarter it's still going to be interesting. I think something's going to happen where the score doesn't indicate what was going on during the game.
You said 29-18?
Yep.
Okay, I just want to make sure. With us all three picking a loss, do we even pick an MVP?
Yeah, probably not.
Everybody's in agreement. This is gonna be we're getting beat. But hey, at least we all feel we're gonna cover.
No, you guys got us not covered.
No, yeah.
Yeah, both of you.
Oh, by a point. I'm thinking 21.
I think the game's gonna be. I think it's gonna be interesting to watch. Hope I'm right.
I hope you're right.
Yeah,
you've been right more times than the rest of us. So hopefully this trend continues. You are correct here. So, yeah. For any of you Cyclone fans that are going down to the game, like you, Pipes.
Yeah.
We are going to need y'all. This team is going to need y'all. Everybody else, get to your favorite establishment, even if that establishment is your couch. Get that bad boy and cheer on these boys because they need it.
I'm going to be going by some Whataburger, because I got conditioned by watching years and years of Saturday basketball sponsored by Phillips 66 and Whataburger.
Hey, man, I'm telling you.
Advertising works.
I'm telling you, Whataburger is where it's at. I would not tell a lie.
So do they have something you have to get?
Food?
Okay.
A burger? Cheeseburger?
Yeah. No, I didn't know if there was just like something, like some double cheeseburger or something. Or...
I mean, it's been so long. I don't know.
Yeah.
Be prepared for onions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do throw onions on there. Chopped up. Not ring. Chopped up.
I'm hoping to catch some barbecue. Nice. Hoping to catch some barbecue down there too. That's going to be Isabella's job on the way down, to be scoping out the barbecue joints, seeing if anything is close to our place or whatever before the game.
Who all going
for lunch? My dad, my daughter, and my uncle and cousin. So got an Airbnb, supposedly like 15 minutes from the stadium. So yeah, fired up.
Okay. Yeah. Whew. It's a big one. It's a little bit more personal for me since they were my former team, and I feel that they've let me down. So I hope they get their ass whipped. I hope that our scores are all reversed, and the Cyclones go down there and do what they do. Do what they do down there. There was our what you cooking segment. A man's going down there to get himself Whataburger and barbecue. Ain't no need to talk about anything else. It's Whataburger and barbecue.
I might have to try one of their schooner ales. See if their NIL beer stacks up. It's the Ames or the
next episode.
Or the Jack.
We're gonna get a taste test on the Sooner Ale. we're gonna get a report on that and see how well it is. So yeah, you know what? I got nothing else for the people. This episode, I'll put in a disclaimer. This episode's gonna cut a little weird in the middle because I had a power outage. So y'all be gonna be like, I always notice the cuts, but this one was a little weird. Yeah. I had a power outage here, so I was down for like 10 minutes. So, but it's all good. So, you know how it is. You know how it goes. Go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones.
Go Cyclones.